Hi everyone, welcome to another video. This video we're going to go through the daily DOB download sheet and some of the updates that we've made recently. Apologies in advance to current members in not getting this video out sooner to go through these updates in a bit more detail. Got it done now, so hopefully you'll find it helpful. I'll post a link in the comments below, and if anybody wants a direct link, message me to the original version of the guide for the original version of the sheet. I'm not going to go through that part within this video. It's just going to be the recent update we've done with the ability to add some values ourselves and use the DOB form to show what we would deem to be possible selections using the values that we want. Just to advise that the daily DOB download sheet is a sheet that we send out each morning to our members via our Discord channel, and it's just a list of all the day's runners and how each horse has performed in running across its previous races. We've been updating the sheet frequently since we've started posting it and making it available, and we can now see how the horse has performed across multiple areas given today's or the current race conditions of the day's race. So the most recent update is the DOB form, or what we're calling the DOB form stats. And if you scroll across to the sheet, I've got it already scrolled across, but if you go across to columns BU to CC, this is the recent edition where we can at a glance view what we deem to be a positive or negative across the different sections, dependent on the value that we assign. So we can now assign a value that if the horse has performed above that rate in running, then it'll show as a positive Y. If it's below that rate, it'll show as a negative N. So we can see, for instance, on the current settings of the sheet, we've got American Glory on row 3, which is showing a positive for all races and recent races. It's got no data currently, so it's not raced at today's course or today's going or today's class yet. If today's race is a handicap, then that is its handicap form. If it's a non-handicap, it's its non-handicap form. So in this instance, it's a non-handicap race today. So this positive form for handicap is relating to non-handicap races, and it's not yet raced in a similar kind of field sizes under today's conditions. So this setting then, if we go to the settings sheet and towards the bottom left, there's a section added called DOB, and then a green box to enter a value, and this value is used to determine whether it highlights a yes green or a N red in that DOB form section that we've just looked at. So the setting I've currently got it on is 64.99%. So if the horse, we go back to the sheet, if the horse is DOB rate, and again just to confirm, this is just for DOB, it's not for the HDOB, the TOB or the QOB. It's purely showing the results for the DOB and its previous form for that. So the all form, so for all races for American Glory, its DOB rate is above that value we entered in the settings section, so it's above 64.99%. Likewise, the recent form, we've got no data for course, going and class, so it's showing as a neutral question mark. Positive on today's non-handicap form. Nothing yet in terms of a similar field size. So we've got 3 positives, 0 negatives, and Bay of Australia underneath. Excuse me, clear my throat. We've got a negative for all and recent, positive for course, negative for going, no current form yet for class, and a negative for handicap and field size. So just to show that if we look at American Glory and all and recent form, our settings at 64.99%. So all races, it's 2 races in the database so far, and it's 100%, which is above the setting value we've got of 64.99%. So that setting there is showing as a green positive Y. So how can we use that? Well, first of all, the setting, obviously to be positive when doing DOBs, you need it to have a rate of above 50%. We're looking at doubling our money when doing the DOB trade. So if we've done that 50% of the time, barring any exchange commission we're paying, then they would break even at 50%. So it's up to you to decide how high you want to go with this setting, so it shows us positive. I'm quite happy using the above 65% at the minute to generate a shortlist, and then go on with perhaps any further analysis, look at the race. I do tend to avoid most races, not all races, but most races where the odds of the selection are above 100, and races where there's a strong odds-on favourite. In this case, not all races, unless I've got a strong opinion and reason on why I would be sticking with my selection from the shortlist, then I would tend to avoid those races. Okay, so what can we do? So first of all, you decide on your setting. As I say, I use 64.99. If you want a more streamlined shortlist, then you could perhaps raise that. But again, this is hopefully will reduce that initial kind of time in looking, and we can then focus on a bit more of the particulars when we've got our shortlist. So first port of call, what I would generally do is open the sheet and sort the sheet by column CB, which is the positives. So click on the filter button there and sort by largest to smallest. And what this does is sorts the sheet, showing the horses with the most positives down to the lowest positives. And we can see there that Sing My Story and Ribkana, the top two on this list, are both showing a full clean sweep of positives, which is good. And then likewise further on down. So then what would we then want to do? So I don't want to be looking at horses that have got many negatives. So I'll be sorting the sheet and removing any selections which have got more than two. So I just want to see all horses with no negatives, one negative or two negatives, and click on OK. And then I want the horse to have at least 5 positives, so click on that, and then just say I want horses that are showing us 5, 6 or 7. Remember, this is not set in stone. You can use this as you wish. This is just an example kind of method to generate a shortlist. So what this sheet is now showing me is all horses running today that have at least 5 positives, given our value that we've entered in the settings sheet, and no more than 2 negatives, again to the value that we've used in the setting sheet. And then we can go to the time column and then sort by smallest to largest, and that will sort it then into race time order to then look at in more detail as we get closer to race time. So once you've got some settings that you're happy with, it should be very, very quick just to open the sheet each morning, sort it, set your filters, and then use that as the basis of your trading day. What I'm going to do now is use Timeform to see how these horses got on that day. If you're not familiar with Timeform, it's a totally free site to register with, and then I think the following day, early the following morning from each race, they'll show the lowest odds in running from Betfair. It's not entirely accurate. I forget what the value is now, but it shows the lowest odds matched to a certain amount. It often does trade lower than what Timeform will show, but to lower values. So I use Timeform if I'm not around for a particular race. Then I'll use the Timeform figures to see how low the horse traded. If you are able to, then straight after the race on Betfair, you can bring up the chart and get a fully accurate kind of figure and volume on how low each horse went. But if you do happen to miss that, then Timeform the following day is the next best option. So if you're not familiar with Timeform, say it's a free site, feel free to register. I'm logged in. You can then use the search box on the top right here and search for a horse, and it will bring up the history for that horse. So let's just go back to that. It's a horse called Jack Darcy. The list was from the 19th, so Jack Darcy. There's 2 horses of Jack Darcy, but it will bring back multiple at times. But we want the 2019 horse. We can see then for this horse that on 19th of August at Newbury, finished 6th out of 7 runners. And some detail about the ground, the distance, the jockey. The starting price was 9 to 1. I've just clicked on that and I don't want to do that. Let's go back. The BSP was 13, and this section here will those show the highest it went in running to the lowest it went in running. And then so the lowest value, the lowest odds it achieved in running was 2.96, which would have resulted in a nice quad for anyone that followed. So what I'm going to do is go through Timeform, entering each horse, and compile the results for each of those selections from that quick shortlist that we generated, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I've gone through each horse off this shortlist that we generated, created some extra columns here just for purposes of the video, and recorded against BSP and the lowest in running odds on Timeform how the horse would have performed across the HDOB, which is a 50% profit, a DOB, which is a 100% profit from your backstake, a TOB, which is a 200% profit, and a quad, which is a 300% profit. So going through all these horses, it didn't. The quick shortlist that we generated performed quite well. Trading each horse on the list, regardless, would have resulted in a 2-point profit on the half DOB, on the HDOB, a 5-point profit on the DOB, an 8-point profit on the TOB, and a 9-point profit on the quad. I also recorded, out of interest, because for the win only, our selections that we've been posting on the Daily Ninja email and the blog posts have been doing pretty well, and we are showing profits purely punting them. Not that I would advise that method solely, but I know there's a few members now who are doing who used to do the 4 points or the 4-part trade targeting the HDOB, the DOB, the TOB, and the quad, are now foregoing the HDOB and adding in or leaving a point in for the win only. But it would have resulted, purely punting would have resulted in 6.66 point profit as well, purely on the punting each horse, barring obviously any small exchange commission that he'd be paying. Not every day is going to go that well, I wouldn't have thought, but yeah, it just goes to show how quick and easy it was to generate a positive kind of shortlist. I hope it's coming useful. Always available via email or via the Discord for any questions that you have. You can email me on support@tradeninja.co.uk and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Or you can drop me a direct message, MB Ninja, on the Discord group, and I can get back to you as soon as I can there also. Hope it helps, and thanks for watching.